Antarctica exerts a fascination that captivates both scientists and conspiracy theorists. The interior of the continent, inaccessible to ordinary tourists, is a scientific research center, especially at the South Pole. However, among the legitimate scientific ventures, there are speculations that billionaires and governments are interested in uncovering hidden secrets about the icy surface of Antarctica. He is the hero of modern societies over Antarctica. It began in December of 1911, when the Norwegian Roald Amundsen outdid Robert Falcon Scott in the race to the South Pole. And it possibly ended at 8:20 on December 20th, 1928, when the Australian George Hubert Wilkins took off from Deception Island, next to the Antarctic Peninsula in a
high-wing monopoly and ships like a paradise.
Explore the last unknown place on the map. With that flight, the era of flying machines in Antarctic exploration truly began. Wilkins's flight was followed by other similar flights made by common aviation pioneers. Richard Burt and the aviators divided by rivalries, but who, according to the BBC report, were as brave as their predecessors. Portazo, in December of 2023, explains to us that the expeditions of these aviators, they paved the way for the Antarctica we have today. Demilitarized, environmentally protected, and led by science. Even though this might not have been the way they envisioned managing the territory. Aircraft gave early explorers an entirely new perspective on the Antarctic continent, which allowed to see how vast it really was. According to Adrian Wilkins, a professor of environmental history at the University of Bristol, Wilkins and Burt,
They were the first people.
systematically flying over Antarctica.
It is
Explain that if we observe the maps they have produced,
we can see how much
a
of
continent they could see from a plane instead of on a ship walking on the ice. However, making sense of what they saw was not a
was
task,
easy.
and some mistakes.
Lookout Beach News.
These days, the Solar Explorer,
Felicity Football Club
first woman to ski alone in the frozen continent in 2012,
is
meteorologist from BAES, British Antarctic Survey, which is the organization responsible for the United Kingdom's interests in Antarctica. Writer and expedition leader, currently flies over research line regions about a specific location to investigate geophysical and atmospheric issues, or on trips from one to set up sites in the deep field, to download data, perform repairs, and configure new instruments. She explains that when pilots go deeper into mountainous areas, they observe the landing site from above, from many different angles, to detect any possible cracks. For one of the major dangers of flying in Antarctica is disorientation due to the lack of contrast between the sky and the ground. In Antarctica, it's worth considering the risks. To prevent these risks, BAES does not send aircraft to a new location unless there is sunlight on the field. Be clear blue sky. The ULT and other base members are always in dialogue with drone pilots, working on how to blend the operations of the twin-engine wedding altar attack
like that.
remotely piloted aircraft systems known as
RPIIE.
that peace is developing. The pioneers. In 1928, the bullet-shaped aircraft that Wilkins and his co-pilot
Colbin and Otavi
were the vessel Sharp and Sharp.
de Lockheed
Their Vega was designed by Jack Northrop, who later founded the North Eco-Visi de Concours
and through cooperation.
the famous B-2 stealth bomber early that year.
And the other, Vega, both pilots.
They were the first to cross the Arctic Ocean from Alaska until the night. On the other side of the world, explorers literally flew over the Antarctic peninsulas. In just 20 minutes, the Vega traveled 40 miles. a distance that would take months to cover. After almost 4.5 hours, with half of the fuel spent, Wilkins opened the hatch and dropped a declaration, a flag and a document, claiming the land for King George V of Great Britain and hesitating, turned around. The 10-hour flight, filmed by 2 movie cameras that were on board. The Australian and his American colleague crossed at least 1,600 kilometers of Antarctic territory, up to then unrecorded. During the flight, they were able to have a view of over 258,998 square kilometers of Antarctica, according to estimates of the time. Wilkins named the bays, lands, and mountains he discovered after his 3 supporters and wrote the following phrase: "For the first time in history, new lands are discovered by air." From his flight, the pilot mistakenly concluded that the Antarctic Peninsula consisted of 3 islands, not an extension of the continent. Researchers write that in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, there were mapping wars because the possession of Antarctica was disputable, and to claim rights and possessions on the continent. The pilots and associated teams sought to draw and publish as many maps of Antarctica as possible, with as much detail as possible. According to these sources, the mapping wars, they took the aviators from a 1939 German expedition to release from their flying boats flowers, metal arrows stamped with the Nazi swastika to mark the claim to the land, although it's not particularly necessary to say they were not very effective. And that didn't stop Germany from claiming a vast Antarctic territory at that time. After being defeated in World War II, the country had to give up any claims to lands outside the continent. In 1940, it was speculated that coal dust could be used to melt ice. And after the war, nuclear bombs, gold, oil, and later uranium were the closest on the list. Nobody really knew what was underneath the ground. One of the most intriguing theories suggests the existence of ancient civilizations, possibly as legendary as Atlantis or Lemuria, beneath the miles of ice. Evidence supporting this idea includes ancient maps, like the Piri Reis map from 1513, which remarkably depicts the Antarctic coastline long before its official discovery in 1920. Moreover, satellite images occasionally revealed inexplicable patterns and structures, fueling speculations about secret bases or remnants of ancient civilizations. Historical expeditions, such as Germany's missions to New Swabia, they also sparked interest, with some speculations about secret bases or contact with extraterrestrial technology. New Swabia, New Swabland. It was the name given to a region of Antarctica claimed by the Third Reich from January 19, 1939 to May 8, 1945. On the 17th of December, 1938, the Germans sent an expedition on the cargo ship carrying the Blom and Huss HE-39 seaplane. The German Antarctic expedition, led by Navy Captain Alfred Hitcher, its goal was to find to a whaling station. But as Germany went to war, it is very likely the goal was to build a military base. The secret expedition had 33 members, plus the ship's crew of 24 men.
From January of 1939.
Reached the coast, Princess, in an area that had recently been claimed by Norway as Queen Maud Land, and began to map the region. Nazi flags were placed along the coast. The area was named by Germany, which established a temporary base. So, after the defeat in World War II, Germany lost all its overseas territories, and that's when rumors started. Many conspiracy theories have emerged, and most claim that after the German expedition of...
This 38.
On the 8th of March 39, a huge military base was built there. and that even high-ranking Nazis, scientists, and elite military units might have survived there.
However, there's no solid evidence to back up these claims, and as no one has returned to the region.
The mystery continues. Already the Operation High Jump, led by Admiral Richard Ebert, in 1946 and 1947, nearly a decade later, adds even more intrigue and mystery to the icy continent. Although officially considered an exploration mission, some believe it may have been a cover to investigate suspected alien bases, old ruins, or traces of other civilizations that might have established some contact with extraterrestrial societies. Stories of encounters with flying objects and supposed UFO entries in this territory hints at non-human origins and fuels these theories even more. Whistleblowers who claim to have had encounters with the extraordinary in Antarctica add depth to these narratives, suggesting ongoing mysteries
Holds hidden truths.
about the frozen facade of the continent. According to some explorers and parachutists, Antarctica is full of secrets deep within. On a journey in the south, there are reports that describe massive underground facilities and advanced technology beyond current human capabilities, including sources of spacecraft with designs non-standard to Earth. Some even claim direct interactions with extraterrestrial beings, describing these encounters as peaceful exchanges of knowledge or distant observations with unclear motives. Government attempt allegations.
Let me just
These
start
stories,
this.
or restricting access to certain areas of Antarctica, only add more to the mystery, suggesting a cover-up of monumental proportions. Moreover, broader theories suggest that Antarctica could be a hub for secret activities of space programs and collaborations between humans and aliens. Whistleblowers and theorists speculate that the continent's isolation makes it an ideal spot for secret operations away from the public eye. They talk about expeditions that discover ancient artifacts and technologies, suggesting a history of Earth that includes interactions with advanced extraterrestrial civilizations.
Fabulous.
Long before recorded history, a convincing theory suggests that the continent is not just a frozen wilderness, but a treasure of technology, and mystical artifacts will not be discovered. This concept is appealing due to the idea of ancient alien technology, possibly dormant beneath the vast layers.
See you soon.
Theories propose the construction of secret underground bases in Antarctica, equipped with state-of-the-art laboratories dedicated to the study of alien technology and ancient artifacts. What makes Antarctica so appealing for these secretive activities is its extreme isolation. The harsh climate, the mystification of being Earth's last unexplored frontier. The Antarctic Treaty System, which prohibits military activities and promotes
They're
cooperation,
scientific,
offers an
so that's
appreciation
cool.
theorists take. Those with sufficient resources and influence could exploit to conduct activities that would be impossible or highly scrutinized elsewhere. Antarctic Treaty. One of the most striking features of Antarctic activities is the international context in which, from the beginning, they were organized and established. To the evident logistical, operational, human, financial, and environmental difficulties involved in conducting scientific research in Antarctica, the dimensions and magnitude of the southern region, and the constant risks
Before and extremes that
to have
are
with any activities in remote and inhospitable areas. They are constant stimuli and challenges for political articulation and international cooperation among interested actors. Therefore, some specific instances of international scientific cooperation occurred during the Polar Years Organization, from 1882 to 1883, from 1932 to 33. In 1950, the then called International Council of Scientific Unions, today, International Council for Science, International Council for Science discussed the proposal to hold a third International Polar Year, which became known as the International Geophysical Year, whose activities were extended around the globe. And conducted between July 1957 and December 58. The significant success of the first AGI provided concrete presences, scientific research phase on the White Continent, based on investigative freedom, in the exchange of data between Antarctic programs, and in encouraging international collaboration among them, scientists. Even after AGI, the countries active in Antarctica maintained their polar stations, reaffirming their interest in the region. This motivated, in 1958, the United States call for the involved nations to participate in the Washington Conference, with the goal of discussing the continent's future. As a result of this conference, the 12 participating countries signed the Antarctic Treaty on December 1, 1959, which came into effect on June 23, 61, and has since been accepted by many other nations, currently comprising 55 member countries, 29 of which are consulting members. Brazil joined the Antarctic Treaty in 1975, and in September 83 became a consultative member. I promise by international law, effective since 1961, the Antarctic Treaty therefore regulates the actions of countries
and individuals in the Antarctic region.
There are claims about geological anomalies
Did you all see
and
it?
unexplained structures in Antarctica.
Like explaining simple challenges.
Some satellite images show pyramid-like formations that resemble the pyramids of Egypt and Mexico, suggesting they might be remnants of ancient civilizations or creativity, the other reel of the Indians. Another fascinating theory revolves around the idea that entrance to the inner land of Antarctica, vast, suggesting that our planet has vast caves capable of supporting life or entire ecosystems and civilizations. And some say they have seen evidence of large openings or cave entrances in Antarctica that cannot be explained by geoprocess.
Good luck with Napoleon. And that's the end.
There are speculations about scientific missions
Which things that could be incorporated?
open to investigation.
Anomalies in Antarctica.
It is suggested that these missions could study technology
Alien or interacting.
of extraterrestrial councils in urban bases.
That's it.
The role of billionaires in potential collaborations with aliens is highlighted, especially when it comes to the icy vastness in Antarctica. Rumors suggest some of them were taken to secret meetings there, where they sat with beings from other worlds to discuss, from small ones,
Share life.
from technology to global governance. However, from the height of his economic and technological power, Elon Musk expressed doubt that governments may hide a possible previous discovery of intelligent life outside our planet, and mainly that they somehow, it would be too much. According to him, aliens would justify an exponential increase in military spending, what would be a full plate for certain layers of power. However, according to Monet magazine, even without confirming that there are ETs among us, the billionaire's excited statements about it instantly remind of Giorgio Tsukabos, exotic figure from the series Ancient Aliens, that went viral for seeing traces of extraterrestrial beings' presence in almost everything, from the Bermuda Triangle to the pyramids of Egypt, and turned into one of the most difficult
Built internet village.